Well, Nat and Shervo, we've just seen in the last couple of minutes the protesters actually try and push these large fences over. You can see the mounted branch has moved in, so things are getting quite violent, unfortunately, here again with protesters clashing with police. They actually pushed this large fence and large barricade back. This conference set to get underway at 9 o'clock this morning, so the majority of the military personnel and defence industry personnel are inside this convention centre at the moment. But you can see a large number of protesters. I would say maybe a couple of thousand at this stage, so certainly well below the 25,000 that was expected, but definitely more clashes with police is expected.
Let's go to Paul Dowsley. Thank you, Macca. Where are you at the moment? What's happening there?
There is a capsicum spray here, Matty. Over here, it's coming real close to us. The perimeter fence, which was the big line of defence apart from police, the protesters are trying to break through it. There was a group of dozens of protesters here a moment ago. You can see this officer has paint on his face, the second from the end there, red paint on his face. Further down here, the fence has been breached and they were trying to do it again just here. So there is actually now, if we come down where capsicum spray was before, more capsicum spray. So now, instead of there being a fence, there is just this line of police protesters here protecting themselves with grates. I saw one of these pushed up against a horse's face earlier. But now, to protect what is a very open entrance with the fence breached, is just a line of police which is, 5, 6 deep here. The mounted branch now also trying to stop this group, which is on the Clarendon Street side, from coming down along the Yarra. Geez, that pepper spray gets in the air here. So
that exhibition centre, you're out the front now. If they get through those large fences, are they essentially in the exhibition centre there?
Yes, more capsicum spray potentially here. Yeah, you're spot on, Shervo. You're spot on. If you can get through that police line, then you would be inside.
Okay,
so that is why they are obviously very keen using the mounted branch. We're all being moved back here.
And Paul, we know you're running, so look, sorry about that. But have they been running at the fence? How have they been trying to breach that fence? Could you describe that?
Literally, Nat, with force, literally with the hands of dozens of people, and the mounted branch now coming in to your right, Matty. Mounted branch is now inside as a line of defence presumably in case protesters do get through this line of police. So you've got two lines of the mounted branch here. But to answer your question, Nat, literally with force, they pulled and pulled, and they were trying to do it here. I think when I came to you, they didn't succeed. A capsicum spray is being used by the police repeatedly.
Yeah, that's definitely an escalation we've seen this morning. The mounted police trying to mitigate that crowd movement. Now capsicum spray being used as well. We'll stay on these pictures, but I'd like to bring in former police detective Peter Moroney. Pete, these types of reactions that we're seeing from police now shows an escalation here.
Yeah, certainly, Matt. You can see in terms from the protesters, they're coming out that particular section. They're obviously coordinated. What I'd really ideally love to see here is where's the organisers of this protest coming forward denouncing this type of behaviour. You saw what looked like a little trolley being thrown in under the horse's feet, and it looked like it was on wheels. So if a horse steps on that horse is going to come down. And that's not designed to peacefully protest. So that is just pure anarchy and trying to cause harm and injury.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So we saw that grey-looking white horse, and it nearly stepped on that pallet, didn't it? Yeah,
it did, Nat. And look, some of the behaviours in past protests gone by, they'll throw ball bearings or marbles down on the ground so the horses will hit that and fall. And again, that's just purely designed. They're not there to protest the cause that they claim they are. If you were, why would you be doing this type of behaviour? But you'll see the police move. The biggest fear here, probably from the police's point of view, and they will be in control at the moment, is if the protesters push forward on this point, is there another counter action by other protesters in other areas? And if there is, they're just trying to stretch those police resources. They will have a finite number of resources. You can see there with the arrests, is that an arrest? They almost look like they're doing CPR on a person, or if it's an arrest, they'll simply move that person away now and out of the area. And that's why you'll see the lines of police. You'll see the front line, and you'll see some more mobile officers that are the arrest teams, and they'll move in to quickly grab that person and move them out of the way. Now, they appear okay, they're obviously just being arrested, and that'll be the tactics that the police will take.
Take us through the spray, the capsicum spray. What is that, and does it work?
Yeah, it does, Matt. I'm not sure if you've ever been hit with pepper spray or capsicum spray. The spray that these riot squad officers are using, as you can see, has a far greater projection of materials. And the surge that you'll see, that is a coordinated surge. They move forward there to take care of that person. The front line of squad officers will circle the arresting officers until they can get that person away. They'll be taken out behind that offence and moved off or arrested and charged.
So that's how they're arresting people. They're protecting the other officers while they make an arrest, are they?
Yeah, so you might see, again, depending on where the situation is, Nat, but as you just saw there, so what would be happening is a lot of communication between the police. They've clearly identified perhaps one antagonist or one person that has committed an offence. They'll wait for the right time. The right frontline squad will move forward, push the crowd. The arrest squad, who are a lot more mobile, will come through, grab that individual, pull them back behind the line and then extricate them out of the scene.
The other issue here is traffic control, right?
Definitely,
so they're trying to free up the freeway exit there. They can't move them too quickly, though, can they? Because it looks like they're trying to push them back metre by metre very slowly. Otherwise, more violence erupts, I guess?
Yeah, you're spot on, Matt. Yeah, it's a really fine line, and particularly, too, if their line is thin, they just want a coordinated pushback. Now, the reason they're trying to do that is to get the free flow of traffic. Now, I really don't think there's going to be too much vehicular traffic down there, but they're trying to push forward and push them back slowly, one, to not cause any injury to the protesters, but certainly to keep the strength of their line in the right manner. Unfortunately, what you're going to see is there's probably a lot of innocent people there just caught up. So from time to time, what you'll see is the police will release a line in some ways, because there would be some innocent people there that have just come in the wrong area. And sometimes they'll give the protesters, or those that are there unfortunately for the wrong reasons, that opportunity to escape out. So arrest is not always their front line. They will provide escape avenues for protesters to move.
When there's such a big area with several entrances to an area like this and so many protesters, so many police, how are they actually being coordinated, literally?
It depends on the formation they're going to take. So if they use what I understand is a square formation, you'll have a front line, but sitting in behind that front line, that if you look closely enough, you'll have a tactical commander. That tactical commander will move that squad left, right, forward or back. But they too will be also being relayed information from the command squad. I'd imagine the pole air may be in the air. And again, that's the tactical advantage of a mounted unit. They get above that crowd. So, for example, if you think about us as the officers, we're at eye height, so I can see everything that's occurring at eye height. The advantage of that horse is it's above. So if part of the crowd shifts to the left, the frontline officers on the ground won't see that, but the mounted units may, and they'll communicate that back so the line can move accordingly. So
we've seen the use of the mounted units, we've seen the use of capsicum spray. If they continue to breach this line, what happens next?
Mate, that's a great question. Look, the dog squad haven't been displayed yet. I would suspect if they push through that line, and if the police form a view that life is now in danger or imminently in danger to anyone inside, you would probably, next line of defence will be the riot squad will come out in force, and they will start that forced movement, that forced pushback. You haven't seen any police dogs at the moment, but if it does keep going the way it's going, I wouldn't be surprised as a last line that comes out.
Are they the riot squad that we just saw just in the shot before with the ones with the shield?
Yeah, generally. No, they're the well-trained ones. They're that gentleman there in front of you with the round shield, so they could be full-time riot squad. Victoria Police are no different to New South Wales. We have a number of reserve squad officers as well, so they might perform normal duties. But in instances like this, when it's needed, they'll be brought out to help supplement the numbers, equally as trained and as coordinated as each other.
OK, thank you, Peter Moroney.
Pleasure.
And we'll continue after the break to our reporters on the ground there in Melbourne during these protests.
Stay with us. We'll have more in this breaking news as Melbourne protesters clash with police in the streets.
Move back! Move back! Move back! Move back! Move back! Move back!